most of the transactions are in this area and not the other area. You're going to be a lot less likely to need the gold than you are the silver. The reason that people are buying gold and silver, the major reason is the amount of inflation that we have already created and what the future of inflation is going to look like.
Do you think it's significant that this petrodollar didn't get renewed? This stuff is going to be beyond valuable. SD Bullion is at it again, but this time with a monster box full of Silver Tree of Life coins. Enter today at sdbullion.com/sweepstakes.
Hi, Yank.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's a very hot day here.
It is hot outside, but I have to ask you, what is hot when it comes to silver and gold at your shop?
What's hot? Anything gold and pretty much anything in silver.
Anything in gold, anything in silver.
Yeah, I mean, we've sold lots of 1 ounce, 5 ounce, 10 ounce bars. We're waiting for another box of Maple Leafs to come in, but we wouldn't be waiting for more Maple Leafs unless we ran out of the ones we had. So,
any trends that you're seeing, what people want to get in their hands around silver and gold?
Yeah, a lot less of the unique stuff, okay? I have tubes and tubes of things and lots of bars that, I don't want to mention any names, but the stuff that you pay more for. We saw people, if they're buying rounds and, they say, well, do you have any of those Aztecs? And I do have some of those. I say, well, what's the price difference? And there's not much difference. So, you get a lot of them that if they're silver rounds, they're going to be roughly the same price. If they're going to pay a higher premium, they're going to get an American Eagle, Maple Leaf, Britannias, Philharmonics, that stuff. And not, a good one to pick on is the Mexican Libertad. I now have some. I have half a tube left.
Wow.
And they were very popular until they weren't, because the price is higher than it should be. And I think that's people are definitely price sensitive now. And that's why we're selling a lot of bars. I just bought 1,000 1 ounce bars. That's what these are from. My favorite, Highly Mint.
Yeah, that is your favorite.
I hate to do advertising for other companies, but I wish Highly Mint were making more bullion, because I used to get everything from them. And a lot of the wholesalers don't carry them.
Am I seeing them down here? Because when I walk by, I saw bars.
Yeah, you have the bars. Rounds. You had some Britannias there.
Oh, the Britannia.
The other box down there has buffaloes in it.
Yeah, I saw those. Very nice.
Okay, just so you know, there are 2 key dates. That's 32D and 32S. The rest of them are worth more as silver than they are as collectibles. Okay, but 32D and S are the key dates. What you have there is not $4.50. It's $90.
That's what it's worth.
That's what these are worth.
That's it? I thought they were worth more than that.
Why would they be worth more than that?
I don't know. I looked online for 1934 quarter, and it was saying that it was worth a lot more than that.
Well, then you want to sell it to that person.
And so online is not always that accurate?
No, it's a lot of nonsense.
1941.
Yep. What you have there is worth $14.
All of it?
Yep.
This one's from 1928. That's not worth nothing.
No, they made them from 1916 up until 1945. And the ones that are valuable would be the 16D is the most valuable. I have to have a D mint mark. And then the 21 and 21D. Those are the ones that are valuable.
What will you do with them after you put them?
After I pay $14, throw it in a bag.
And then
like this?
Just save
No,
it.
big bags. Big cloth bags.
No buffalo nickels?
No, I seen few people.
Okay. In 1936, they made 120 million of them, which means that they're not very valuable.
No.
What's the key date on the buffaloes?
Well, they started in 1913, and there was a Type 1, and then the Type 2 also in 1913. So anything in the outlying mints in the teens is going to be more expensive. There were a couple of errors, but
Three-legged buffalo or bison.
Yeah.
well, yes, that's
Right.
1937 D
Three-legged,
with
yeah.
3 legs on the buffalo. That's one of them.
Yeah.
That's the one I saw. The three-legged.
This one, unfortunately, has 4 legs. The problem was that the date was higher than the rim when they made it, so it wore off right away.
Right.
And then they lowered it a little bit. I think it was around 1919. They lowered it a little bit, but it was still equal to the rim, so it still wore off. And then in the 20s, they lowered it so almost everything from the mid-20s up through the 30s, you're going to see a nice clear date, or you should if you want a collectible. What you want to separate? Let's see if I can find one here for you.
They're
War
like a
nickel.
lot of war nickels there.
It should have a.
There are or not.
They are a lot of war nickels there.
Okay, well, that's what you want to separate. The rest of them are only worth a nickel. They're worth around $1 a piece.
You buy war nickels, Tim.
Unfortunately, we do.
And the P, right?
Well, it could be a P, a D, or an S.
An S, yeah.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
That was
I learned
fun.
something today.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I just-
Thank you.
something
And let's go
today.
Celtics next year. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Do you think it's significant that this petrodollar that was in place 50 years didn't get renewed?
The last time I looked at the price of West Texas crude, it was around $80 a barrel. And I don't think any of those countries in the Middle East have to trade at that value. I think they can all set their own prices. They're not dependent on the United States. And so if Saudi Arabia and Russia want to have a side deal that's not $80, maybe $60 or $70 or whatever, that's what they can do that. You know, and we have sanctions against Russia. Russia has found a way around everything. We can no longer dictate to these countries. We don't have the right. We don't have the credibility we used to have. And so when it comes to countries that have a lot of petroleum reserves or any other commodity for that matter, they're going to be dealing with each other.
Although it's been downplayed by the major news networks, people are scoffing at it, saying, "Oh, you stackers, you guys out there
Well,
think that the dollars
okay, right,
is
right.
really happening."
Remember when Joe Biden went over there, President Biden went over and fist bumped the Saudi prince. That was not looked at kindly. And the next week, I think it was the next week, the Xi Jinping was visiting the Saudis. The picture that would hit the newspapers all over the world was Xi Jinping standing there shaking the hand of the Saudi prince. If you're doing anything at all, don't insult these people. If you depend on their status in the Middle East, I mean, what is Saudi Arabia? That's kind of a balance to balance out Iran, and they're doing a fairly effective job. But sure, if we help them, it'll be well received. If we don't help them, they have other places to go.
But 60% of the foreign exchange is in dollars, held in reserve.
That's true.
But the dollar is in trouble.
The dollar is in big trouble because they're running our government is a lot of money from the outside, and the people who are contributing to this government are globalists, and they're billionaire globalists, and we don't have to be the world's reserve currency. Even the European Central Bank is looking at an alternative to the dollar as a reserve currency. Why isn't everybody else? I mean, what country in Asia wants to have the dollar as a reserve currency? They can just as well do their business on an agreement.
You
They
say
don't need
that
it.
we don't need to have the dollar as the reserve currency.
Oh,
However,
well, we do.
If we do, we do, because if we don't, our way of life is toast, right, Tim?
Look about how many dollars come flying back to this country. It's in the trillions. And all that does is add to the debt.
to have all the countries have to convert their currency into dollars in order to buy oil is huge. That's given us the option to live beyond our means. You take that away.
That is true, but there are lots of other negative influences that are going to affect us. The reason that people are buying gold and silver, the major reason is the amount of inflation that we have already created and what the future of inflation is going to look like. Because if the rest of the world doesn't want to use the dollar for anything, and all those dollars come flying back to this country, what do you think inflation will look like then? And I think there are almost everybody who's buying silver is buying silver for the eventual use as a currency. And people who are buying gold, so they don't have that money sitting in a bank someplace that they don't trust. Right. But they are alternative money. Now, if we had something like an alternative fuel that would be as effective as gold and silver is as being an alternative money, we'd be in great shape. But as far as the dollar goes, I'm a little afraid for the value of the dollar when all these countries around the world are going to join the BRICS.
It's just another nail. The BRICS nations, the petrodollar.
This government we have doesn't understand that one of their important functions is to protect the value of the dollar, and they're doing just the opposite. What this government shut down was the distribution system. Okay, so they can be producing more oil than they ever had. If we can't distribute it around America, it hurts everybody. That's why we have so much.
What they're doing with half the money they send in other words. We don't know what they're doing with this oil. You know what I mean? This is the other half of it. What are they doing? I mean, come on now.
They could be shipping it to Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
If you put all your money into gold because you just want to put your money in a safe place, and then you need something, you can always convert it to silver if you need that, or you can always convert it to cash. And silver is the same thing. On a lower scale than gold, but most of the transactions are in this area and not the other area. I mean, you're going to be a lot less likely to need the gold than you are the silver.
On a daily transactional basis.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Most transactions.
Can I just look at
And honestly, I don't know how other dealers operate, but if for as long as I'm here, we'll buy it from you.
And that's going to be a really long time, right, Tim? Long time.
Long time.
Long time. Thank you. So how long have you been stacking? I appreciate that.
About 20 years.
Good for you.
It's going to be my down payment on a pickup truck. Yep, my old
Good for you.
Toyota. My old Toyota's on its way out, and I need something newer. So I do hold some gold. Most of it's in smaller increments, gram, 5 gram, and 10th ounce, quarter ounce, and a couple ounces. So just for those emergencies where you need that kind of money quickly.
646.
Yeah, they should all be in that range. This one I don't know. Put that one on there.
$644.
I called here, then I called a couple other places, and now I'm here because he's going to be the most generous with get me going on a new vehicle. So I have seen your channel. I've seen you in here doing things. So I don't watch it all the time, but I have run across it.
What do you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
I am a serviceman for Mike Murphy and Sons Oil Company out of Kingston, New Hampshire. We cover southern New Hampshire and northeastern Massachusetts. We do great service. We deliver fuel and take care of anything you need.
Would you take silver for payment, doing some odd jobs or something like that?
Absolutely. But whatever my price was for payment, I would whatever spot was, we could work it out with precious metals. Absolutely.
Wow, more and more people are doing that. That's cool. I just wanted to ask you. Maybe I'll have to check out Mike Murphy and Sons. But thanks for coming in here and getting a good deal from Tim.
Yeah, he's going to treat me very good, and I'm very grateful for that.
And if we lose the dollar, Tim?
If we lose the dollar?
This stuff is going to be beyond valuable.
What do you mean,
well,
dollar's gone. Dollar is gone. there's no coming back from the position.
Well,
that
I don't think
we're
the
in.
people in charge of this government are aware of what's going to happen when you upset everybody. Okay? But if all those trillions of dollars come flying back to this country, it'll be worse than the Weimar Republic. I mean, people will lose faith in the dollar instantly, except the people who come across our southern border. You know? You can strike that.
Yeah, I'll take that off. Yeah, sure I will.